Welcome back to the Career Build Series. This is episode number 85. And so in this episode here, I think what we're going to do is play with some new toys. You probably noticed my speedboat. I hope you guys watched the first episode of Vice, which is a new series I'm doing. It is kind of a more story-based career gameplay. It is going to be career. I just started a new save for it, so I put in a little extra money so that I can have the cool toys, but it's going to be kind of Miami Vice. For those who are unfamiliar, was a show where they were in Miami. It was about Vice police officers. He's not going to be a police officer, but it's essentially a character you're following Vice and some other characters, and they're going to go do rescues and some of the missions. But it's going to be kind of a comical, kind of 80s era esque series. So go ahead and check on that. The episode's going to be shorter. There'll be a little bit of scripted. There'll be a lot more music in there and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoy that. So those will be intermittent as I get them out. They take quite a bit of work to do. And so any of those vehicles going over to that are kind of designed that way will not be using the career build series. They'll be going over to Vice. And I might use some of the vehicles, but I'll repaint them and kind of take away some of the kitschy 80s stuff and the neon. And so appreciate if you guys go over and watch the first episode of Vice. There will be more coming. I just made another vehicle for that. But I've also been making some vehicles for the career build series. One of them I was making, it took me about between 12 and 16 hours, probably more towards 16 to make the build challenge video. So while I was doing that, there was quite a few times where I listened to the video over and over and over again so that I could, see if there were any mistakes. And so I went ahead and I made this plane, and it's kind of based on a sky truck. There are a couple different models kind of like this. And so kind of the point of this type of aircraft is it's turboprop. People have been asking for a turboprop. I've been wanting to make a turboprop. We've also been uh, refining quite a bit of jet fuel and had really nothing to use it. So I built this sky truck here. And so let's go ahead and launch it. We'll do a little walk around. And I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we will ferry some jet fuel around. And I really want to get up to the Arctic. And so this is the sky truck. I haven't come up with a name. It's most likely going to be the burro, like a donkey, or it'll be the mule or something like that. And so the point of this type of aircraft is STOL, short takeoff and landing. And so that's a technical term in aviation for that. And so there are a bunch of features that you'd have in a STOL aircraft. One of them, people have commented before in previous my builds, the wings are too thick. Well, part of why a wing is either thick or thin is for drag. When you thicken a wing, all right, it allows you to have the opportunity to have more of a curvature on the top. The curvature on the top makes the air go over the top faster, which creates a low pressure. You have a high pressure under the wing. That's how a wing works. You get lift. So one of the ways that they make STOL aircraft have a greater lift is with a thicker wing. And so, for example, if you have a commercial airliner, you'll notice it has a relatively thin wing. It has a swept wing. An aircraft like that is designed to go fast. So you want minimal drag. So you want a thin wing. You want a swept back wing because you get, I don't know if it's quite to transonic speeds, but you start, the swept wing behaves better at higher speeds. When you're dealing with an aircraft that is supposed to be going slow speed and you want a lot of lift out of it, you tend to have a thicker wing that tends to be straighter and, you'll have more camber in it. And so that's why it has like a thick wing on it. It's purposefully because that's the type of aircraft. So, I learned all that stuff in my degree. We had to do, we had to design wings and go through all of that. So it has a big thick wing on it, STOL. It has flaps. You'd also have things like leading edge slats, but I can't really get those to look good in game. So it is turboprop. I also did some tricks. So if you need some tricks on getting your airspeed down when you're approaching, one thing you do is add a little pitch to your propeller. And so what that's as though the propeller is pointing this way, and what it does is it will kind of act like it's giving you more lift. So that's another thing you can do. And so that's been accomplished. As you can see, it's not a T-tail, but is a split rudder tail. And what that allows me to do is put a... do I need mass power? Let me double check. I haven't completely worked out all the kinks in this yet, so let's do that really quick and see. I may hook that up. That's supposed to be in the hot bus. So if that doesn't come out down, I will turn on infinite electricity and fix it. Let's diagnose the problem here. There we go. So it's an electrical problem. So as you can see, we have a ramp in the back. Doesn't look like it fit much, and it can't. But what it can fit is that little yellow cart that I made that will fit in the Seagull will also fit in this. And so we can take that with us, and so that way we can do some missions. We do have, what do we have, 6 seats here. I had seats on both sides, but I can't get that cart in if this is here. So even though the wheels look like they fit in this area, there's a little bit that overhangs, and so you'll end up hitting it. And so this way I can kind of drive up to the left here, and I can take that with me. Also, should be able to put in some... I'm going to put in some tracks on the floor. We should be able to take those pallets. The footprint is... The door width is the same as in the Seagull. And so we should be able to do that as well. Again, the short takeoff and landing. This has a ground services panel here. I had to thicken up the back here. I'm not thrilled with how thick that is back there, but unless I find a new place for the ground service panel, I might put it up in the wings up here and thin these back out. But yeah, so this is my new S.T.O.L aircraft. I built this while I was listening to the video. The video for the Build Challenge Delta. I usually don't ask anybody to go watch my videos or anything like that, like or subscribe or that, but you know, I'd appreciate it if you guys would watch that video. You know, go see all the hard work that everybody put in there. We had 11 people who submitted to the build challenge, so that was great. Congratulations to the winner, Mr. G, and for the points, and Jasper for Captain's Favorite. And if you have not voted yet, please go to the Discord and vote for your favorite. So we also do a community voting period. It will tell you on the Discord when the date is for that. You can go in the description. There's many links to the Discord. And you can see there, and you can vote for your favorite. So, you know, I'd appreciate if you guys go watch that video or parts of the video or even leave it running in the background. That was, like I said, that was about 16 hours of work for that video, but it was worth it to, you know, to showcase everybody's builds. People did some really great work on their builds, but it's a lot of work, so I'd appreciate it if you guys would stop by and give it a little watch. And so, you know, continue on this. So I think what we're going to do here is I'll kind of get this wrapped up, and then I will grab one of the jet fuel pallets. We'll probably fit one in here. And then once we have some jet fuel in here, so not only will we have jet fuel in the wings, we can actually hold quite a bit of fuel in this plane. The whole wing is microcontrollers on either side. So we hold, I think it's something like 11,600 pounds, something like that. 12,000 pounds, 12,080 pounds of fuel. So we hold a considerable amount of fuel in there. And so we're going to run some fuel up to the Arctic, I think. I think that'll be a good thing. I want to get up in the Arctic for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is, you know, there's some cool missions up there. It'd be kind of nice to get a little change of pace. We haven't been up there yet. I'm just testing something really quick while I'm here. Let's put this temperature up here and see if I can't. Okay, good. The heater came on. I was just testing the heater. So quickly go on the workbench. I will play with this and get this set up so that it is all set. I think there's only a couple things missing. Did a bunch of testing with this, but obviously I missed a couple things here and there. So right here, these are the panels, so I just didn't plug these panels in. Let's see how much of a pain it is to change this ground service panel over. Probably quite a bit, actually. Actually, maybe not. I have a good dead space right here. This actually could be all right. Okay, so that actually will work. So let's go ahead and let's change the ground services panel over, I think, is what we'll start with here. Yeah, so let's do that. So I don't like the ground service panel where it is. It really thickens that area up, so I want to fix it. All right. All right, so let's go ahead, and this will actually be better. I won't have to see, I send fuel up, I can send it across this way. So what we'll do here is, let me see. I'm just trying to see where everything is here. Okay, so that goes there, perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut right here, and then I'm going to go put in a corner piece enclosed, and then I can... Yeah, that will actually work really well. So I'm going to grab this out. And this stuff's all plumbed up. So I took my turboprop from Cap Air and I took all the panels out of that. I'm trying to do more modular panels, but I didn't do a great job with that one of making it pretty, like, standardized and how I'd like it. So a little bit funky, and I have to work on that. So I'm going to use a 1x2 wedge, and the reason is the collision on this is smaller. And so what will happen is as this opens up, I'll be able to get in there and hook up my lines. But this slope here, there's very little collision there, so it won't interact with these and cause a bunch of phantom forces that I have to deal with. So, all right, so that works pretty good there. This craft is not going to get anywhere quickly. This craft is all about, it actually doesn't do a bad speed. It's 190 knots, but it's not a super duper fast vehicle. And so we're not going to be able to get places ultra fast. We're still going to be able to get them pretty quick. But this is going to be able to land on the road and do a mission for, we'll be able to do a mission with it and stuff like that. And that's where I think this is going to excel. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun, is the ability to take this in. Oh, we see somebody near a road. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this instead. I think I'm going to change the color of this. So we can take this and we can actually land on the road. So I did some testing. I'll put the picture up now. And if you look at the red line, you can see where the craft landed the touchdown, and you can see where the craft touched down and where it stopped. And you can see where we started the takeoff roll and where we ended the takeoff roll. That's where we actually took off. And so you can see this can take off and land very quickly. And so that allows us to do things that are going to be cool. Like, for example, we have a car crash or something that we need to go. We can take this and we can actually land on the road. Right, I'm digging that. That looks a lot more sculpted. That looks... Oh, crap. Why is this side different? Ugh. Symmetry. Killing me, son. Killing me, son. Okay, let's copy that. Trying not to make this an ultra build video, but, kind of my thought process is, I didn't do this on screen, so... when I built this, so now you guys can see it. But for example, you see how draggy this is? The wheels are fixed. They're not retractable. Gear cause a lot of drag. It costs us in speed, but it also we make up for it with having these big fat tires that are going to be good off-road. It's gonna this would work in landing on the sand, where a large jet would not work very well at that. You would not want that. It would sink in. And so this is going to be thematically a little bit more correct. I'm trying to make modules for everything. So like reciprocating engine stuff, twin engine reciprocating, which we have now in the Seagull. I'm trying to make something for 4 engines reciprocating. And then I need to start making it for jets, and I need to make it for turboprops. And so the plan is to have a bunch of panels and modules all set to go that are really super duper easy to put in there. And then I can just make a craft really quickly. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good. So let's save this up. Let's go ahead and I need to put in a winch. And the winch is kind of like what I had to do on the Seagull. Was putting a winch in allows me to drag pallets on. I'm trying to see where the heck I can put it, though. This is the issue. So I don't want to put it in the way, but see, like that little cart, it comes all the way up in here. I think I may not winch. I may just push stuff in. I kind of need a winch, though. I don't know. Let's try putting some tracks in here. Okay, the tracks can't go in there, which is fine because they're slope blocks. The door starts closed. If you start a door in the halfway position, it allows you to put things on there like that. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let me quickly save this again. We'll open up the Seagull. All right, and I want to check the distance between these tracks. So distance is 3. Okay, so they're 5. All right, good. So they're 5 across, and that's so that I'm trying to do that. When I was making the pallet for the Seagull, I was trying to make a standardized size. I don't want to have to, have pallets for, oh, those are, pallets for the Seagull. They don't fit in anything else. You really don't want that. It's kind of nice to have some standard equipment so that I can grab pallets for the seagull and use the seagull. I can grab pallets for this and use this, and it's just really cake and easy. This is why I don't like the bucket. See how it paints the interior of the block sometimes? Not a fan of that. I think I'm going to try going without a winch. We will see how that works for me. But hopefully I should be able to slide the pallet in here and have it click. I should be able to hopefully manhandle and push that in there. And, you know, if I can do that, I think we'll be good. Devs, please let us paint the other side of this part of the pivot. Thank you very much. So if you've been following what's going on with the game, you know, if you don't care to read it, I do a video on it every week. You can just listen to me talk about what the update is about. But they're doing the oil spill major update. That's the major update. You know, as usual, you have some people disappointed with it, but you know that's always going to happen. And it seems I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to be cool. You know, that adds some things. Is it exactly what I wanted? No, but it's not the end of the world. I'm more interested actually in what's going to happen the 9th to see what they fix on Industrial Frontier, because I love Industrial Frontier, but I think they have a lot of issues, and hopefully they fix it. That'd be good. All right, so let's go ahead. So that has tracks in it now, so we can lock in a fuel bowser. All right, so let's take this, and then let's grab... I'm going to actually try to remember to fill it with frickin' diesel, man, or jet fuel. Because last time I forgot to fill it up. And so we ended up, the whole point was to take this somewhere and couldn't do it. So let's put one of these. So this, you know, I like to build vehicles, you know, I don't want 10 vehicles to do the same thing. So for example, this is smaller. This takes off in a much shorter distance than the Seagull. Doesn't land in the water at all. And so it has its own reasons. So it makes me like, oh, you know, this is the perfect use case for this thing, or it's, you know, that would be better, or, you know, something like that. All right, let me see. I had on, let me see if I can push it. So when this is empty, it's pretty light. This weighs like almost nothing. And so I need, the problem is I need to get it lined up just right. Luckily, you know, the collisions aren't too bad on these sometimes, and I can kind of get them going. Okay, actually, see, look at that. So I'm able to push this in really nicely. Let's get a picture. So that's not too bad. You know, of course, IRL, you wouldn't be doing this stuff, but until I get like a proper forklift that can operate with that, we're going to be manhandling these things. But that is awesome that I can push this. The issue is it starts to get stuck up there. And so we can actually use some mechanical help here. I can't push this. I can't close the door to push it in until it gets a little bit further ahead. So it's like almost like the collision of the panel is interacting with this, because this has these little areas of the door that have to come down in order to make it work. I could clamshell those parts of the doors, but I don't really want to be jagged. Let's see how we're looking up front. Hopefully we can get in here and... Oh, excuse me there, door. And I had a handle on here before. You know, winch... I'm trying to think, where could I even put a winch? Put it up there. Let's try this. Maybe we, you know, so the angle of this, so if you notice how this sits on its tail, so these wheels are bigger and it kind of leans towards this tail. That's for a number of reasons. One, it makes it so the ramp is flatter. They actually do this in cargo aircraft, having the back down a little bit like that and the nose up, and that allows it so that you can get a flatter deck to load, and it makes it easier. The other thing is, you'll notice in a lot of aircraft, especially aircraft that are trying to take off short, they already have an angle of attack on the wing that helps them to be able to rotate and get off of the ground. And so that's another... What's there? Nothing, I don't think. I hope nothing. Let me see. Let me check really quick. Okay. And so they have, you know, they have something like that that helps them get off the ground. And so by putting a little bit of angle of attack in there, it makes it so that you're already, it's as though you're already rotating. And so it, oh, gotta make sure that I don't do that. Sorry, talking to myself here. I'm just talking to myself. I have to make sure that I don't accidentally block this door. So that will do a pipe. Crap. Let's see. So as long as I'm 3 blocks out, we're good. Let's go there. Okay. That's going to show. It has that stupid pipe on the end of the winch that I really hate. Let's do this for now. You know, so you start with an angle of attack on your wings, and it's as though you're already rotating. So you'll notice that in a lot of short takeoff and landing craft is they're already kind of pre-rotated, and that will help with getting going. Can't put anything on this. Can I put something right here in the floor? So the problem again is this pipe. I hate that pipe there. Is such an eyesore. I see. I'm not gonna have the space to put it under here anyways. Let me try something. I doubt it fits under the staircase. If it would fit under the staircase, I would then put a transponder over that pipe. It's kind of my go-to to block that pipe, but I doubt. Yeah, see, that's like that acts as a whole block. I could put it there. That's behind the heater too, so that actually wouldn't even show. Let's do that. I like that. Do we then put in a full-size winch is the question. What are you? Okay, what is that? What am I deleting? Oh, it's the stair. It's asking me if I want to delete the staircase. I'm trying to figure out how to. Let's try something here. Oh, that was the heater right there. Okay. I can. Let's go back and I'll move the heater. All right, let's grab a winch. Let's paint really quick just because it's much easier to paint. Oh, no. That's going to show there. Never mind that. All right. I was trying to put it in here, but that is actually where the stair is, where that is. So let me... All right, let's play with something here. See if I can't delete under here. Okay. So let's try this. All right, and then we'll grab a winch. So this guy will be kind of neat. The cable will go under the staircase. That will go up like that. Nice. So that's right underneath the stairs. I'm just like, this thing hurts for space, so I have to be kind of cognizant of that. All right, so that's good. So that now fits in there. Let's go pat yellow on the top of this winch. There we go. And then we'll continue floor color there. And then that will go across like that. We'll grab a transponder. Transponder will be this like chrome color. There we go. So that looks not out of place. That looks like something. Are you going to be a pain? All right, let's go back. Is everything still proper? Okay, good. So that's nice. So this will allow me to hopefully winch in and out. Perfect. I've already flown up the Arctic a couple times. Flies up there well. You know, some people were asking me to build turboprops, and they're also wondering why I didn't make certain things turboprops or why I don't do a lot of turboprops. And one of it is it's they are very fuel hungry. You know, turboprops are fuel hungry IRL. The benefits are the overhaul interval for a turboprop or a jet turbine in general is very long, and so it allows you to not have to do a overhaul for a very long time. And so if you're running a commercial business where you need that vehicle to be working, you know, actually out there doing work, doing whatever commercial business it needs to be doing, the last thing you want is in the shop all the time. And so with reciprocating, they often need to, you know, they have a much shorter overhaul interval, so you need to get them overhauled more often. Well, that puts it out of commission. They're also turbines are incredibly simple and rarely break down. You know, they look complicated, but a reciprocating engine is much more complicated than a turboprop, well, than a turbine engine. It kind of I meant to make these pushes, and I forgot. It's much, you know, more complicated to have a reciprocating engine, and so, you know, they can have this much more reliable engine. And so if you're carrying passengers, you know, saving a couple bucks doesn't make sense if you're gonna then go and get sued for millions of dollars. So you really want to, have a reliable, safe aircraft. Also, turboprops can be very fuel efficient, but you have to get up to altitude. Most turbines want to go up to a higher altitude, and the point is they're big compressors. That's why they have a huge compressor section. And so they're great for going up to altitude and compressing the air, and so they're very efficient at altitude. They are not efficient at low altitude. And so if you're just like doing some quick up-down stuff, they're not very efficient. There we go. So the winch was necessary. It's now locked on the tracks, which is nice. There we go. And I'm going to do the track lock. Track lock. Track lock. Actually, I don't want to do the track lock yet, and the reason is I fear that if I track lock it and this door hits it, it's going to cause a problem. So if I put the ramp up first, now I don't have to worry about it, and I can also push it. I can let the winch out. And the other benefit with having this kind of lean towards the tail here is it allows me to... Ooh, we are getting close to be able to hold two of these Johnnies. Sorry if I'm a little rambly, but we're close to holding two of these Johnnies. So this is nice. So we can actually hold this now. In real life, so my center of gravity is right about here. And so I talked about this, I had a tutorial video talking about the dynamics of aircraft. And so your center of gravity needs to be in front of your main landing, in front of your mains, your main landing gear on a tricycle landing gear for obvious reasons. If it's behind it, what happens? It sits on its tail. And so you need it to go, and this is very close. And part of that is, for this to be a STOL aircraft, short takeoff and landing, I need to be able to rotate quickly to get my thrust pointed down and to get up in the air. And so I need that to be able to rotate well, and so that's important. And so I need to be careful, less in game than in real life, that if you put your center of gravity too far aftward, now, if you have something balanced, so for example, center of gravity is right here, so the elevators are designed to have a balanced system. So if this is your balance and this is your lever and that's your control surface, from here to there is how long your lever arm is, and that gives you a lot of torque. As you start to put the mass back here, well, now the elevator isn't just rotating it, it's actually lifting it. So it has to lift the mass of whatever is here, and the further it is back, the more mass it has to lift. And so often if you're having pitching problems, what you want to do is lengthen your tail, get a longer torque arm out, and make sure your center, your mass is always at the center of gravity. So for example, my wings are full of fuel. Guess where they are? Set right in the center of gravity. So as I burn fuel, it doesn't want to pitch nose down or nose up. It just, becomes lighter. If I put more fuel in, it just goes straight down. It doesn't want to pitch. And so you don't want pitching moments. And so when I load this cargo in, I want to make sure it's around my center of gravity. If you notice where it is, it's right at the center of the wheels. And so if that was all the way in the tail, once we fill it, it could sit on the tail. So as I fill it up with jet fuel, which I will remember to do this time, I'm going to end up time-lapsing our flight up to the Arctic anyway. So pumping out jet storage. You see we have 60,000 liters. So, we refined a lot of jet fuel. And so it is, it's good to get it moving and to have a use for it. So that's one of the reasons I actually like it more now running jet turbine aircraft. I was not a huge fan of running them. I was even less of a fan running them earlier, which I love jet aircraft. But it was very cost prohibitive. It could be $16 a liter of jet fuel. And so every one of your missions would be unprofitable, so I would often not do it. Well, now it's incredibly inexpensive for me to go and get a whole trailer load. Right now, we're probably close enough. That facility is pumping and refining. So I bet you all those tanks are full. And so we probably have 114,000 liters of jet fuel sitting a short drive away. And so this gives me very inexpensive jet fuel. So now it makes more sense for me to run these craft because I can run them so inexpensively. So once this is filled up, now let's see if this will sit on its tail. If I put that too far back, it would sit on its tail. And so I'm trying to get it right about there, and hopefully it'll be good. So I really didn't mean to spend this long on building, but, I enjoy it. And we haven't done a little bit of a build in a while, so This one should be finished up soon. It is locked in. It's all set to go. And once this is done, we will be able to head up there. I should have brought a winter coat, but I'm not going to bother getting that now. Let's do this. So I know I said I wasn't going to teleport much, but we're going to do it just because I'm already kind of delaying this thing here. So let's go ahead and we'll grab a winter coat. Picking a color. I think I'm still wearing it. Yep, you keep wearing it, so you, as you can see. So we now have a winter coat, so the heater should work, but if the heater doesn't work, I don't want to die, and we also have to get out. And so, all right, so that stopped filling, and that's going to allow me to, let's go get it. So that stopped filling, so we know we have full jet fuel in there. We should have more than, I know we have enough jet fuel inside of this craft. Where did I put it? I think it's on the other side. This doesn't give me enough space to walk on either side. The Seagull does have enough space. If you have 2 blocks in game, you can walk alongside something. This has 1, so, you know, that's not intended for me to do that. All right, so let's get getting. All right, so I'll go through the startup procedure. This one's a little bit master power. Ground power can stay off, battery A and B. You'll notice we have, currently it should be those batteries. Generators stay off. Fuel flow isn't hooked up anyway, so we have 10,000 pounds of, we have 12,000 pounds of fuel. Beacon comes on. All right, this one has the cutoffs behind the thrust levers. I forget what they're called in a turboprop. In a turboprop, it's different. You do torque and NP. So NP is your prop, essentially, and torque is the power of your engine. And we're going to turn the gens on, and we're going to go. And I'm going to put in, so you want to do all this stuff on the ground, ideally, is you want to set up, so this is fully IFR compatible. I have everything in this already, so. Alright, so that's in. So we'll go ahead and call it clearance. I don't have a tail number yet. Skytruck 123. We are at the blue hangar looking to pick up our clearance. We have information. Echo. Skytruck 123. You're clear to the Arctic via. I'm going to give us an actual route here. Alright, you're clear to Arctic via. I'm trying to find a cool place. I'm just trying to find us an actual route here. So you do this type of routing IRL. Let's see. Okay. Skytruck 123, you're clear to the Arctic via climb maintain runway heading up to 2,500. At 2,000, turn direct to Wind Farm. From Wind Farm, Draymore to Shipbreaker. Shipbreaker to the final approach course. Expect runway. I forget what runway this is, but let's say it is 29. All right, we'll climb runway heading up to 2,000 feet. We will 2,000 turn left to Wind Farm, Draymore, Shipbreaker, FAF4 expecting runway 29. Skytruck 123. Skytruck 123, reback is correct. Go ahead and contact ground on 121.9 when you're ready. 121.9, Skytruck 123, thanks. So I'm going to set a waypoint. That's our new waypoint. So we're actually going to do an IFR approach. I wish I could put my ADF system back in, but I got to fix it. Alright, we're ready to taxi. So flaps are going to go to, in this one, for a short field takeoff. Oop, that's temperature. Haha. I moved some stuff around, let's put it that way. So for this one, I'm using extra flaps for takeoff. That's Skytruck 123. You're clear to taxi. Can you take an intersection? Oh yeah, we can take an intersection. Skytruck 123. Taxi straight ahead, hold short of runway 7. Straight ahead, hold short of runway 7. Skytruck 123. So I'm putting in all of our instructions here. I cut the I cut the clearance a little bit shorter than it would be IRL. So everything's set up now. That's Skytrack 123. Good. Contact tower 120.7. 120.7. So you can see where the wind is. The wind is this direction. We're taking off into the wind. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Skytrack 123. We are ready for takeoff runway 7. We're going to need a second on the runway. Skytrack 123. You are clear for takeoff runway 7. Climb maintain. Runway heading up to 2000. 2000. You turn left to wind farm, and you may hold short on the runway. And that is approved. You can take as much time as you need on the runway. If you're not going to do a rolling takeoff at a busy airport, you would ask permission. So sometimes you need to do a static takeoff. What that means is you hold your brakes and you start bringing the thrust up, and that makes it so that you get up to speed faster. Your engines are essentially all the way spooled up, and you can accelerate faster. But it takes longer on the runway. So in case they have a plane landing right behind you, you'd have to ask. All right, so we're going to hold the brakes. I'm actually going to set the park brake. And we asked for we asked for a minute in the runway, so they approved it. So we can actually sit here for a second. So as you notice, my tanks are even. So we're going to run the checklist. So flaps are set, lights are set, props are set. Before takeoff checklist complete. All right, so we're going to do a static, and that helps you to take off a little bit quicker. And so as you can see, I have a negative 0.06 trim in, and we're good to go. So here comes the thrust. And brakes coming off, full thrust. And I'm pitching back already because I want to take off, as you can see. You see how quickly the sucker takes off. We also have a headwind too, which helps. So I should be on runway heading, which I'm not. I started down there. We're over 100 knots, flaps are coming up. All right, so you see we're only doing 110, and the reason we're only doing 110 is because I have the prop set, so when I take off, it is very low pitch, and so it takes off a little bit more realistically. All right, so as I'm climbing, so there's 2, so what we need to do is now switch over to nav GPS, bingo, and we're going to turn left. That's Skytrack 123. Go ahead and contact departure 126.9, Skytrack 123. Alright, so we're going over shipbreaker right now, so I'm going to put in a 360 heading. We'll actually do a 010 heading, and let's switch over to the heading hold. And we're going to go ahead, and we probably should see this airport pretty quickly. So we came over shipbreaker, which was right here, as you can see. So I'll remove the waypoint. You know, as you can see, I know how to navigate, so I don't need it. But there's the airport right there, so go ahead and we'll talk tower. Or they'll call us first. Skytrack 123. You can go ahead and contact tower on 120.7. 120.7. Thanks. Tajin Tower. Skytrack 123. Visual runway. Whatever it is. Tajin. Skytrack 123. Radar contact. You can continue in on a left base. You're number 1 for landing. Clear to land. Alright, we'll continue on left base. We're clear to land runway 2. Skytrack 123. Alright, so we're going to start getting ready for landing. So taxi landing light comes on. Landing light usually goes on in a commercial setting when you are cleared to land, or at least in my experience. We would do taxi light for clear to approach and land light for clear to land. So beautiful up here in the Arctic. Really love it up here. It's nice and snowy and cool. So prop is coming full forward. So prop coming full forward. It slowed us down a little bit because it doesn't take much bite. We're going to start putting in full flaps. Now, in this airplane is S.T.O.L. Again, short takeoff and landing. It is designed specifically by me to be able to operate at very slow speeds. That's how you can take off and land short. It's all about what's the slowest speed you can maintain flight. So in this craft, I can get it down to around 75 is as low as I want to get it. It could probably fly fine at 70. It does get wallowy like in real life. You know, for all the people who rag on, you know, we want real aerodynamics. First of all, I find, you know, they're probably what they know about aerodynamics reasonably dubious as somebody who does have a degree in it. The game does a really good job, actually, in most things. Like right now, I'm getting really wallowy in my aileron roll, and that's something that really happens when you get at a slow speed. And so I'm feeling wallowy. It's like it's a little bit slow to respond. It feels like the wings want to dip because I don't have much bite out of the air. It stalls properly. I feel the stall buffet before I actually get the full developed stall. It actually works pretty well. So a little plunk there. I plunked it because we have a really strong crosswind. And so I want the wheels on the ground so I can take advantage of their steering capabilities. Whoa, 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 brake, 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 brake. The problem, again, is with this being a short takeoff and landing, like you saw, I can land at like 65 knots. The problem is the wind is way up here, and so I was right around 65, and it was trying to pick me up off the ground. So, but a nice little flight up here to Tajin. So we're actually going to be putting fuel in the base. I don't know what Tajin costs. Tajin's very expensive. It's like 200 grand. But we do have some pumps here, and I can put the fuel in the pumps, so that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to offload this juice. I'm going to try to get in the hangar. You know, without owning the base, I can't spawn or despawn stuff, but I am going to put some of this fuel in the hangar. All right, I'm going to put it in the pumps are right there, 12 o'clock in front of me. This isn't a sell point, is it? No. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll throttle down, set the brakes, and do fuel cutoff. Especially in a turbine like this, you are going to want to shut these engines off ASAP because you just burn up a ton of juice. Alright, so turbines are coming down. We started with 6,000 aside. It was 6,088 to be precise. We'll just call it 6,000. So we burned about not quite that much. So about 2,700 aside. So that's 2,700 pounds. So 2,700, that's 1,000. 2,700 times 2 divided by 1.9. So that's about 2,842 liters at, you know, it's $4 if we bought it. So if we bought the fuel, that is $11,368 to get up here. So it's expensive to get up here, but we use cheap fuel that we made, so that's not too bad. We're having some, you know, the wind is blowing me around here, so I'm going to just quickly go ahead and save it here. Actually, we'll do this. So I'm going to go to the custom menu. I'm going to override. As you can see, we have 45% wind. I'm just going to stick it to 0. That way I can operate up here. You know, not have to worry about this blowing me around. You know, I'll turn the wind back up. Say we do a takeoff, we do landing, we do maneuvering, stuff like that. But there's no point in just leaving it on. As you can see, my heating system works well. That was going. So a really nice flight up here. It takes about 15 minutes to get up here. A little bit longer. It's not very long. You know, again, the distances of Stormworks are incredibly short. It took me probably 20 total because I kind of I did a little bit of routing here, but and this is not a screamer. I was going 150. I kind of did a normal flight profile where I kept the speed up until I got up to altitude, and then I started bringing my prop back a little bit more. went to more of a climb prop, and then I went and did a cruise prop when I got up there and saved some efficiency. But we went up to 20,000 feet and then came all the way back down. Weather defogged a little bit when we got up here. It was pretty foggy most of the route, so that's why time lapse you didn't see all of it. But hope you guys enjoy that. Next episode, I'll actually go ahead and do the offloading of this. Like you saw, I shut the wind off because it's just going to blow me around, and so shutting the wind off will help with that. I'll be able to taxi up to that jet. I can't sell it here, but what I can do is I can open up the hangar and get a little bit closer, and I can pump it into the bench. And then I'll probably just head back down. I need to do some testing with this anyways, but hope you guys enjoyed that. Did more building in this than I would like, so next episode I will probably just do more missions. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and see you in the next one. Bye.